Why has there been a surge of attacks by Russia on Ukrainian ports? Who is Najla Mangush, the Libyan Foreign Minister, sacked for meeting her Israeli counterpart? Why has a Ugandan man been charged with aggravated homosexuality, a crime punishable by death in the country? Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I am Keshav Padmanbhan, and today we will answer these questions and more in this episode of World 360. To begin with, the Ukrainian Minister for Communities and Territories Development and Infrastructure, Alexander Kubrakov, posted on the social media platform X on 23rd August that Ukraine has faced 8 attacks on port infrastructure since Russia withdrew from the Black Sea Grain Initiative on 17th July 2023. As per Kubrakov's post, the attack on the infrastructure at the port of Izmail damaged 13,000 tons of grain intended for shipment to Egypt and Romania. According to ABC News, that brings total grain losses to 270,000 tons since the end of the grain deal in July. But that's not all. Russian missile and drone strikes damaged 3 grain facilities, 5 schools, a warehouse at the city's airport, and 10 cultural and religious buildings around the city of Odessa in Ukraine, according to the Eyes on Russia project at the Center for Information Resilience and reported by ABC News. According to the CIR report, there have been attacks across various ports in Ukraine starting the day after Russia pulled out of the grain deal. Russia's exit has increased international wheat prices, with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, the FAO, reporting a global increase of 1.6% in wheat prices in its July report of its monthly food price index. Sunflower oil, another large export from Ukraine, has seen prices increase by 15% month on month since the collapse of the grain deal. Experts speaking to ABC News highlighted that Russia is waging an economic war on Ukraine, suggesting that pulling out of the grain deal and launching the attacks the very next day on Ukrainian port infrastructure is a determined attempt to dominate the world's supply of grains. Libya on Monday sacked its foreign minister Najla Mangush in an effort to contain protests that have broken out in various Libyan cities due to a meeting that was held between her and her Israeli counterpart Eli Cohen in Rome last week. Mangush had stated that the meeting was unplanned and informal that occurred while she was meeting with the Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani. But as per a report by Reuters, the meeting was approved by the highest echelons in Libya and lasted for 2 hours, according to an unnamed Israeli official. The meeting is extremely controversial as Libya does not recognize Israel and there is widespread support for Palestine in the country. Late on Sunday, protesters outside the foreign ministry offices in Tripoli caused some damage to the building. Burning tires blocked some roads in Tripoli, while a Palestinian flag was raised in central Benghazi. This dispute comes at a time when the current interim Prime Minister of Libya, under the Government of National Unity, as recognized by the United Nations, Abdul Hamid Dbeibah, has been facing questions over the future of his government. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has not had a stable government. Dbeibah's interim government has been in power since 2021, but has not been recognized by some of the larger factions in the country. There is a growing momentum to replace Dbeibah's government with a unity government aimed at holding national elections, according to Reuters. A Libyan official committed to Reuters that Dbeibah's government had reached out to Italy to facilitate the meeting between the 2 foreign ministers in the hopes of gaining greater US and international backing for his government. According to the Associated Press, Mangush has fled to Turkey after news broke out of the meeting with Israel. The former Prime Minister of Israel and current leader of opposition, Yair Lapid, called out the leak of this sensitive meeting between Cohen and Mangush on the social media platform X, stating that this leak is amateurish and a serious failure of judgment. In our last story of the day, a 20-year-old man has become the first Ugandan to be charged with aggravated homosexuality, an offense punishable by death under the nation's recently passed anti-gay law. Uganda, in May of this year, enacted one of the harshest laws against the LGBT community, ignoring pressure from the Western world and rights organizations. The law prescribes life imprisonment for those who have same-sex intercourse, but aggravated homosexuality includes those who have repeat offenses, transmit terminal illnesses, or have same-sex intercourse with a minor. The death penalty can be applied to cases of aggravated homosexuality. The defendant was charged on 18th August with aggravated homosexuality after he is alleged to have performed unlawful sexual intercourse with a 41-year-old man as per an exclusive report by Reuters. The law has been challenged in the courts in Uganda but has not been heard yet. 4 people have been charged under the law since it came into force, but this is the first case of aggravated homosexuality. The enactment of the law 3 months ago drew widespread global condemnation, with President Biden going so far as to comment that the US was considering sanctions and restriction of entry to anyone involved in serious human rights abuses, a suggestion that officials from Uganda may face future repercussions. Earlier this month, the World Bank suspended new public financing to Uganda in response to the law, and some Ugandan officials have faced visa restrictions by the US government. President Biden has ordered a review of US aid to Uganda. Thanks for watching.